to Israel is also inappropriate. Well, John, on the other hand, of course, is very comfortable being a racist piece of shit. Maine debate is live. Deploy the Toyota.
Special election comes down to one thing, electability. And my performance in last month's gubernatorial shows that I am the candidate that's best positioned to bring the fight to Senator Collins and defeat her this November.
Jordan Wood.
Thank you for hosting tonight's debate, Phil and Rob. Thank you, everybody who's watching at home.
Why is this guy on here?
I was in second grade when Susan Collins was first elected our senator.
Get off the fucking stage. Who are you, bro?
She's helped to build a political system that is failing us. I served as the chief of staff. I was barricaded at the Capitol on January 6th. I know the threat that Donald Trump poses to the future of our democracy. In the past year, I've held more than 40 town halls listening to Mainers. We support Medicare for all, universal child care at $10 a day, a billionaire's tax. And we need a senator in Congress that is fighting for those priorities. A senator we can trust. And that's why I don't take any money from corporate PACs, lobbyists,
or real leftist.
Our next nominee has a very tough task. I am the only candidate on this stage who can separate themselves from Graham Plattner, the candidate, from our progressive movement to change Washington. Last October, when I didn't believe Graham was telling us the truth about his past, I spoke out, and it cost me politically. But if I'm your nominee, I promise I will be able to separate him from Susan Collins and the need to defeat Donald Trump and his agenda, which is wreaking so much havoc on our state. Thank you.
Let's turn to our first question. You've mentioned Graham Plattner. Let's begin there. He withdrew from the race after his campaign flamed out. But along the way, he really attracted a lot of enthusiasm, generated a lot of enthusiasm among Democratic voters, offered a lot of plans, a lot of proposals. My question is, and I'll begin with you, Troy Jackson, what is the idea from Graham Plattner that you
deploy the Toyota
that you will use to move forward with your campaign and try to win votes?
Well, I think that's pretty clear. I mean, what Graham talked about is something that I've been fighting for since I got into politics. Healthcare, Medicare for all. I mean, people in this country deserve to have healthcare. We deserve to have people in the government that are not giving tax cuts to the ultra wealthy in this country on the backs of healthcare. This is something that I believe strongly in. I fought consistently in the state legislature for. I've tried to pass a whole bunch of bills for prescription drug coverage, making it easier for people. I've certainly supported Maine care expansion. And that's the thing that I think that Graham did the best, was talked about.
Don't call him Graham.
Fighting against the healthcare industry and the prescription drug industry to make
Troy,
sure
call
that people
him.
in this state and this country had
Don't call him Graham, Troy.
Healthcare. Nothing else matters if you don't have a good healthcare.
Nirav Shah.
There are a lot of areas where Graham's policies and mine overlap. One that I think is
okay. Everyone's calling him Graham.
This week is the need to finally abolish
Is the
ICE.
meta to, I mean, Maine is so tiny. I guess everybody knows everybody, but is the meta to be like, I'm the closest to Graham Plattner? Is that what they're trying to
Donald
do?
Trump's masked marauders before we finally agree that now is the time to abolish ICE. Now, rather than abolishing it, what Susan Collins has decided to do in recent years is increase the budget to a staggering $70 billion. That's more than 3 other federal law enforcement agencies combined. The FDA, the DEA, and the U.S.
By
Marshals.
the way, if this guy wins the fucking primary, this like special primary, he's going to get fucking destroyed by Susan Collins. Even though he's like fairly good as a communicator, sure, he has like a bunch of bad positions like privatization of schooling and whatnot. But he's just like a cookie cutter, somewhat progressive center left Democrat, let's say. The problem is his background is horrifying. His decisions in Illinois and public health department led to a bunch of veterans dying of Legionnaire's disease, which he covered up, which is why I think it was a senator who came out and was like, do not fucking vote for this man.
And one thing, I've been very involved in human rights work. I've been protesting the need for Palestinian statehood, a 2-state solution. I care deeply
I think
about
Duckworth,
the people in Gaza,
Duckworth came out and was
when I
like,
got into this race, I was
do
very
not.
hesitant to use the word genocide.
Or was it Baldwin?
To me, when you make that commitment, you have to be ready to go all the way.
Was it Duckworth or Baldwin?
For the need to put conditions on any future aid to Israel. Graham got into this race saying this is genocide. And I learned that it is so important in these moments to draw those moral lines.
Oh, Durbin too? Dick Durbin
to
also?
see what is
Jesus
going on
Christ.
in Gaza, the genocide that Israel is committing, and the need to speak to that. And it's going to be difficult, but it is one thing that I took from Graham that I embrace that position now, but I learned it from him.
Oh my God. They're all
A single
fucking.
idea from Graham Plattner that spoke most deeply to me.
Bro, they're
Is that
talking
he's
about
right.
like he died, bro.
The democracy that we thought we had has been deeply corrupted by those in power in Washington, the billionaires and the massive corporations.
Oh
But
God,
it's a
Maine
false choice that
politics,
should be
man.
won.
Oh my
Because
God, they're all
he
so
energized a
ruthless.
movement that's always been there. We don't have to choose. It's about Medicare for all. It's about getting ICE out of Maine. It's about seeing the harm of October 7th and seeing the harm that what Netanyahu is doing in Gaza
Oh,
is
no.
genocide. And that we can hold both of those ideas and we can speak the truth, not try
Brian Kilmeade.
to figure
I'm
out
Brian
which
Kilmeade.
talking points
I'm Brian
will
Kilmeade.
win.
I'm Brian Kilmeade. I'm Brian
I'm going to ask a new question.
Brian
Go to Dr. Shaw first. If you're chosen as a Democratic nominee, everyone knows you'd be running against Susan Collins as she seeks a 6th term. We learned this week she's got $11 million of campaign cash in the bank. There are independent groups that have pledged tens of millions of dollars to back her. And Mainers are familiar with her, as well as the money she brings to the state.
You guys elected
for
Newsom,
fire
by the way?
stations.
Dog. Gavin Newsom is only charisma. What do you mean? His whole shtick is he looks like he should be the president in a B movie. What are you talking about?
You're right. The
He's
one
a
argument that
monstrous piece
Senator
of shit
Collins
for
has
his
made over and over
policies,
for her reelection,
but he's
is that she brings in
unbelievably
funding to the
telegenic.
state. The question and the approach is to take that argument head on. Sure, she brings in about $300 million to the state of Maine, but what do we lose for having her as our senator? We encounter a situation where there are tariffs right now, where the average Maine family is spending an extra $1,000 a year.
Uh-oh.
We have a war in Iran, where Senator Collins has done nothing other than make basic statements about how she doesn't agree with it. And that war is jacking up diesel prices and making diesel fuel for loggers and
White
lobstermen much more
Mamdani.
expensive. It's jacking up fertilizer prices.
No, is it
Not
White-
long
is it
ago,
White
when there was a vote on the
Mamdani
Affordable
standing
Care
there?
Act tax credits, Senator Collins voted no against extending them. She ushered through a bill that gutted funding for nutrition.
I'm a Mainer,
food
and
for
these young
hungry
fellas
kids.
have great
And so,
charisma.
sure, she brings in money to the state, but the question we should ask ourselves is not what we can do or how we will live without her.
The birthright
It's whether we
citizenship
can
case,
afford to live with her
I do
for 6
think
more years, because net
restricts
of
the
net,
ambitions
we lose money.
of the wing of the party
What is happening?
that was hoping that it could.
What the fuck is going on
Democracy are all
today?
Relying on this. I think, and a lot of people across the state agree with me that yes, Susan Collins does bring back appropriations funding for projects that are important in all communities across the state. But this is a different moment for our country. And we need her to step up and meet that moment. To have the courage to stand up and defund ICE, abolish it, prosecute the agents who have committed a murder in our state on Monday. We need a senator who has the courage to say no to a HHS secretary like RFK Jr., who she voted to confirm. But we all remember when she voted to put Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court, knowing that this could overturn the right to abortion for all women in this country. She did not have the courage to do something differently. So I appreciate what she's done as appropriations, but we need a lot more right now from our senator.
Thank you. Shanna Bellows.
We're going to beat Susan Collins in November, and I am running because I'm the best candidate to win, to unite a fractured party, to bring Mainers together in sake of a common goal, and that is that the stakes are too high not to have change in Washington, not only to hold Trump accountable, but also to stand up for our friends and neighbors that are really struggling right now. And I'm the only one who has run against Susan Collins before. And she had all of the advantages in 2014 she has now. But there's one constant in this life, and that is change. And I've gotten stronger because I've been doxxed and swatted and threatened, and I still never backed down to Trump. And she's changed too, and the country's changed with Trump and the end of Roe v. Wade and so much more. So I'm ready to win.
Troy Jackson?
Well, Senator Collins is just a rubber stamp for the wealthy elite in this country. And that is nothing that's ever going to help the people here in Maine. I mean, we watch people lose their health care. We've watched people lose their Roe versus Wade. So many things that she's not been willing to stand up for. To bring in, $300 million or whatever, we've lost a lot more than that in what she's given up. And that's the point, is that, being the appropriations chair, she should have been able to stop ICE. She should have been able to stop so many of these things. And she wasn't willing to, because she'd rather go along with the Trump administration and make it harder for everyday working class people. All across the state, people are having a hard time to pay for health insurance, prescription drugs, child care, nursing homes. I mean, you name it. And Senator Collins has done nothing. Actually, when she talks about bringing money into the hospitals, how much more money did she take away from the hospitals in the big, beautiful bill? I mean, that is what the problem is she won't stand up for the average working class people in this state.
Let's move on to what happened in Biddeford a few days ago when an ICE agent shot and killed a young Colombian immigrant who had a legal work permit. We do not know all the facts. There's a lot to be determined.
They got to pump our boy Troy with some fucking White Monster Energy bevs, you know what I mean, before they put him on that stage.
With Donald Trump as president, that's almost certainly
Okay, all I'm
not
going to say is
happen.
this. Look. A lot of people shit on fucking Morris Katz and Fight Agency, and they're like, oh, you didn't do vetting. But like Graham Plattner, obviously, if you look at the rest of like the candidates coming out of Maine from Susan Collins onward, yeah, Graham Plattner comes across like as the most charismatic person that any Mainer has ever experienced in their whole lives. Even with the fucking red flags before the obviously credible rape allegation.
When a member of our community who is
So they
here
probably
legally
thought they found a
is
fucking
shot
real
trying to
gem
flee
in
a
the
scene.
wild, you know what
He
I
had
mean?
A 3-year-old in the car. He was not trying to run over anybody. Nobody in a moment like that, unless they were in a life and death situation to protect their child, would do what he did. So I think we need a new agency, but the U.S. Senate is controlled. It controls our taxing and spending. It's in the Constitution. I would not approve a budget that did not reform ICE to include no longer being able to wear masks, IDs, body cameras. I mean, there should have been body cameras on these agents, but there has to be real accountability and prosecution of those that break the law.
Shannon Bellows.
I've been really struggling this week because Johan and his 3-year-old daughter were murdered in Maine streets by the government. And we say we don't know the facts. We know the facts. He was a good guy. All of his neighbors said so. He was legally here. And you know what? It doesn't matter. Nobody deserves to get shot and
Okay,
killed
I could
in
run
the
for Maine
streets
Senate, I think.
when their 3-year-old daughter is still in her pajamas. And there are other kids and other families nearby just getting ready to work, getting ready to go about their day. So what I want to say is I remember when there was no ICE because I was an ACLU organizer. In 2003, it was one of my first campaigns. They said we needed ICE to replace INS. Well, I remember a day when the thugs weren't in the government and they didn't have arms.
Troy Jackson.
So, I mean, I support law enforcement, but ICE is not law enforcement. It's a rogue agency that goes around doing things that they're being told to on high. You know, this winter, whenever they were here, we saw a lot of people here in Portland that were pulled out of their vehicles. Even one law enforcement themselves was pulled out of a vehicle. Other people at schools, churches, and things like that. And Susan told us that she had used her power to get ICE out of here. Well, now we have somebody that was actually murdered here in Biddeford under her watch. And it's horrific, it's sad. I mean, at 26 years old, I had a 3-year-old son. I mean, I can't imagine anyone thinking, and the other thing about this is, we don't have to wait. I mean, he was the wrong person. They were after the wrong person, and they shot him. We do not need that type of law enforcement. I mean, that they need to be dismantled because they give us nothing in this country but heartache and racism.
You're off, Shaw.
I'm beyond furious about the murder that happened on our streets here. And That is in part because it reminds me of my own family. My parents were immigrants to this country.
Again, it's
They
not
came
great
here to
that the
Chicago
most
in the early
charismatic
1970s.
orator on
My
that
mom didn't
stage
speak a word
has
of English when she
the
came
worst
here.
policies out of
And
the
I think
top
about
three
how
contenders here.
terrified she
Troy's
would
the
have been
best
had
for
she
sure,
known that the
policy-wise,
president's goons were
background-wise.
patrolling
He
the
has
streets in
the
my schedule.
experience.
So yes, I'm absolutely furious.
but-
and Rob, you asked about how we would
But
reform
the
it.
most
I
charismatic
don't think
one
it's that-
is
I
a
don't think
guy
this
that
agency can be reformed. The
Tammy
rot has
Duckworth
gone
and
to the
Dick
core,
Durbin have
and that's why we must
openly
abolish
come
it.
out
Is that going to take some time?
and warned
Perhaps,
against.
but that must be our goal. What are the interim steps that we can take? Well, first thing, we have to acknowledge there's a reason why Susan Collins has not reformed it, and that's because she's been bankrolling it since the agency's inception. How might we actually put safeguards around ICE? Number one, we must put appropriations riders on that ban masks from federal agents.
It's not like
Number
Susan
two, we
Collins
must
is charismatic
require
either. I mean,
actual
it's-
wearing of body cameras. The money's been there, but ICE and Susan Collins have done nothing to put them in place. And number three, we must lift the immunity that has protected them from prosecution. Now is the time to actually introduce accountability, and I will as our next senator.
Thanks very much.
So in 2018, as some of you alluded to already, Susan Collins cast a decisive vote to confirm Brett Kavanaugh as a Supreme Court justice. She's told us twice this year that she does not regret that vote. He was in the 6-3 majority in the Dobbs decision, which overturned Roe and the constitutional right to an abortion. So are 3 other Collins confirmed justices, Samuel Alito, John Roberts, and Neil Gorsuch. So that's where we are. Looking forward, what would you do as a U.S. Senator to restore and protect reproductive rights in the Senate, or otherwise reform the Supreme Court, which some people say is ideologically out of balance? Let's start with you, Jordan Wood.
Yeah, I'm 36-year-old, like Graham, I am a millennial. And the deep anger that young people have towards our Congress and our government in many ways is because we have watched this court strip away rights, like the right to abortion, and a politics that has not solved that problem. And Susan Collins has campaigned in the past as being pro-choice. But what it means today to be pro-choice in the U.S. Senate
I
is
saw the background
the
earlier.
filibuster.
Dropsite was reporting on it. ICE officers shot Columbia man in Maine has a history of threatening behavior and mental illness, family and court documents say. Yeah. Unbelievable levels of lawlessness coming from ICE, as I've said already. His fucking ex-wife outed him. Okay? The ICE agent who shot and killed 26-year-old Johann Sebastian Duran Guerrero in Biddeford, Maine, on Monday has been identified as David Michael Brulliet, a 37-year-old former Maine law enforcement officer, Army veteran, the Portland Press Herald reported. Brulliet was first identified Wednesday by ICE, the public database of ICE officers run from the Netherlands, which cited 2 people who knew him personally. His ex-wife confirmed it the next day. His ex-wife, Ashley Brulliet, said he admitted to the shooting and asked her to lie for him. She said she reviewed footage of the scene and disputed his account, saying nowhere in there does it show that this man charged at you with a car. Ashley Brulliet also said her ex-husband was abusive during their relationship and that she had previously reported concerns about his mental health to his military superiors. DHS has refused to identify him. Brulette? Okay, thank you. Yeah. He was a former jail guard and a cop who abused his ex-wife. Great crop of talent out here. Also, it is kind of wild that it's kind of wild that AP is also fucking straight up unmasking ICE agents now. Kind of beast mode, if you ask me. I feel like this is something that they would, like maybe in the beginning of this administration, they would shy away from this sort of stuff. They're just, once again, this tells me that there is a noticeable attitude shift. There is a noticeable attitude shift even amongst mainstream media at this point where they're just, openly revealing this kind of stuff. And that's a good thing. Yeah, sirens active in Bahrain now. By the way, fires broke out in Kuwait on the border area with Basra following a series of strikes. Unclear what was targeted, but some people suspect that this is where the missiles were recently fired from, like HIMARS. But yeah, his troubling past further challenges how thoroughly the Department of Homeland Security has vetted recruits as it went on a hiring spree to help carry out President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. Stock oil market is not doing well. Hassan, help. Iran says they targeted U.S. helicopters and recon aircraft at the Sakhir Air Base in Bahrain drone attack. Secondary explosion, we're seeing it in a video, so it's definitely a depot or a launcher. Yeah. It's just another sequence of laundry fires. Have you ever heard about Trump's election integrity army? Auf mein Gott. Welcome to the Bürgerreich, I guess. Are you going to cover the address today? Yes, I am hopefully going to be able to cover the address, yes. As a funder of your broadcast, I cannot visit the U.S. anymore. Yeah, I already covered this morning, and it freaked me the fuck out. Today, the State Department is imposing new visa restrictions to bar far-left terrorists from entering our country. Foreigners who finance, incite, or aid and abet far-left terrorists are enemies of our civilization. They are not welcome in the U.S. The address is in an hour and a half. Odds Trump calls you a Chinese-funded Antifa terrorist, KW, bro, it is not funny, okay? But yes, the odds are unfortunately not zero. Under normal circumstances in a normal universe, it would be zero, but unfortunately we are not living in that universe, okay? We're living in this one. But the Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you, the people, for you, the people. If you no longer want to see, if you want to support independent media, obviously there are no ads on the Piker Broadcasting Service. But if you still want to fund the show, support the show, all you need to do is subscribe. And at Level 10 Hype Train, PBS carries the flame. You know he won't speak till 9:30 to 10. He loves to make people wait. I hope not. No, sometimes it's pre-recorded. Anyway, Fox, Democratic Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman threatening to desert his party if the party deserts Israel.
Democratic Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman threatening to desert his party if the party deserts Israel.
That's my red line in the Democratic Party. Look at
Bro, it's not even oh no, anyway, he's not going to do it. You want to know why? Because he's irrelevant as the fucking 51st Republican. But in a 50-50 situation, he stays in the Democratic Party and maintains his position as a fucking spoiler, which is why I keep repeatedly explaining to people that you have to go beyond. Until 2028, you have to push far beyond that. Like we have to win everywhere, okay? Because right now, in order to flip the Senate, it's already a tight race. You need Maine, right? We're not going to make it to fucking 2028.
the people that are winning these primaries right now. They're not just, I'm just pro-Palestinian. I'm deeply anti-Israel.
The amendment.
Yeah, I mean, John Fetterman sucks. Summerlee. Michael Fusco Art, thank you for the 50 bones. John Fetterman sucks. Summerlee will, inshallah, replace him as the next senator from Pennsylvania. 100%. However, if we're talking about like the current situation, I was wrong. Chris Rabb unfortunately can't make it today. He's available tomorrow, and I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be in DC, so I should delete that. He just got off the plane. Mary Lou has said abolish ICE on the most recent episode. Necessary conversation. The tides are turning. Good. Rumor is that tonight Trump will claim 278,000 non-citizens are currently registered to vote. What's in D.C.? I'm in D.C. I'm going to be delivering a speech to the College Democrats of America. I don't know why they invited me, but they did. And of course, opportunities like that, I will always take advantage of. Every time I explain it, people go, what the fuck? Level 4 hype train, by the way. Level 4 hype train. I mean, CDA is cool. College Democrats were in favor of Maylot Quiros. I still think that this is Neera Tanden, and Neera Tanden invited me to kill me on stage. But we'll see. Is J Street affiliated? I don't trust. Yeah, I mean, I looked at their donors and stuff, and it's a Democratic Party thing. Bring protection, Second Amendment. Bring a weapon to DC, to the College Democratic Association, College Democrats of America National Convention. That's what your suggestion is. Are you okay? In D.C., Washington, D.C. Mary Lou, former Hassan guest, finally says it. Abolish ICE. Bro, where is Bobbert, dude? Where is Bob to set her straight?
This is totally out of control. They need to shut it down. It's ridiculous. They're killing people now. I see it. Now I do see it. They're killing people they shouldn't kill. It needs to be shut down.
Holy shit. You're saying, correct me if I'm wrong here, you're saying abolish ICE?
Yes.
What the f? Are you kidding me right now?
I don't like people getting murdered that shouldn't be murdered. That's ridiculous. That's terrible. It's terrible.
Please say this. Please just on this camera right now say abolish ICE.
Abolish ICE.
Oh my God. I wish Haley was here. I'm getting chills.
Get rid of them.
This is the biggest step forward you have ever taken in the... We've been doing the show for 4 and whatever amount of years. 4 and change.
That video got to me. That lady was good. Yeah.
You're saying abolish ICE?
Yes, I am. I talked to Dad about it today. He said, nah. I said, yes.
Wait, is Dad on the side of the ICE agents still?
Of course he is, yes.
Oh, and so how does he justify this?
I don't think he has seen that clip, but he knew about the one in Houston.
Holy crap. I can't believe this. I don't even know what to say. You're literally...
It started out, I talked about this last time. It started out where they were doing, I thought, good. Getting only the bad guys out of here. Only the bad guys that shouldn't have been here, that have come and gone and done crimes, the criminals. I thought that those were the people that they were taking out of our country. But now look what they're doing. This is not good for anyone. They need to stop.
Okay, Mary. Okay, Mary. We linked up one time. She's been defending me ever since. And now she's on the abolish ICE train. Let's go. I think she's secretly a Hasanabi hit. She's not a secret. Not a secret at all. Not a secret at all. She's openly taken oppositional positions against the Trump administration when the Trump administration has come after your boy. So, hell yeah. Bob is the tough one. Bob's the tough nut to crack, but we'll get there too one day. Another brief moment of Republican conscience. What is this? Watch this Trump voter realize what ICE is doing to our country and understand he's been lied to all along.
And there's a wrong way to get in the country, and anyone that skips the line is just like if me or you were waiting in a steakhouse and some jerk just skipped the whole line and said, screw you, screw you, screw you, and screw you. There's a right way to get in the country and a wrong way to get in the country. And for the people that are doing it the right way, congratulations. And for the people that are doing it the wrong way, well, unfortunately, that's what happens.
So he had a social security number and a work permit. Did you know that?
I did not. I did not. And he obtained them illegally?
You can't do that. You get it from the social security investigation.
I'm saying he got them legally?
Yeah.
So then...
He wasn't even the target of the investigation.
But he had a firearm.
No, he didn't.
What is happening? Bro. Bro's going through the steps. He's like winding down. He's like, well, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason. You had a gun? What's up? It's like, no, man. No, he didn't.
He didn't have a firearm.
No, they shot him because they claimed they're trying to protect the public at large, not even officer safety. It's more understandable if you're shooting someone driving a car at you.
Yeah. See, I didn't know the whole scope of it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I appreciate you.
And that's fucking sad then. So he did it the right.
What do you mean? Even if he did it the wrong way, that would still be sad. This guy's out of his mind, dude. I'm sorry. I mean, he's better than you guys are fucking your level of maybe some of the people are right about this community, okay? Your level of like, wow, W character growth is crazy. Bro, the character growth should be murder is bad and wrong. Not, oh, he came in the right way, he didn't have a gun, and also he wasn't a threat to anybody's safety. Then it's like, okay. Yeah, what if he was undocumented? Would that be appropriate? No, it would. Stop punching left. True. I'm punching left. That's the president of DSA.
Yeah, did.
And still that's what happens. Yeah, that's sad. That's fucking sad. Yep, definitely.
Yeah, this guy's the woke CEO now. As someone who grew up in a very conservative environment, my dad is basically Bob. These clips are definitely character growth. This is what growth looks like to these people. Oh, God. All right, great. Fine. Sure. To each their own, to each their own, to each their own. But like his initial argument as a justification for why he died was a comparison to skipping the line at a steak restaurant. Is that the way to deal with people who skip the line? Do you shoot them at the steak restaurant? You're like, oh, I've been waiting for the steak. I've been waiting for my fucking ribeye meal for the last month. And now I'm in this fucking line and you skip it? Fuck you. Take the gun out. Boom. Blammo. Fucking dead. In South Jersey, absolutely. Okay, well, I find it very odd that is the case for a lot of people. I love how she cropped out the publication. If you're wondering, it's far-right rag Free Beacon, whose main funder is AIPAC mega donor billionaire staunch Republican Paul Singer. Stevens continues boosting Republicans to drive up the negatives of a potential Dem nominee. Weird. Every time she posts something, people just post how much money she gets paid by AIPAC in the replies. You've never been to the Outback Steakhouse for the gun night and it shows? That's true. I have never been for the gun night.